Welcome back everybody to another pomade review, and the pomade we'll be talking about today is another light hold oil-based pomade, and it is Slick of It All by Pomps Not Dead, which I think is such an amazing and underrated product. So it comes in a pretty simple but elegant metal tin. I mean, the design itself is pretty cool and simple. Nothing in the back over here, but on top there is a picture of a car with the name of the product, Slick of It All, on top. And just as with any Pomps Not Dead product, there's the logo with the left over here. On the right, you have Brewed to Last, and the bottom there is brewed in small batches, light hold hair pomade, 4 ounces. And on the side over here, you have the company name, Pomps Not Dead Pomade, the ingredients list, and light hold. So opening the tin up, you would find a whitish yellow, typical color for a pomade that looks a little waxier for a light hold, and you can tell that it's gonna have somewhat of a hold to it even for a light pomade just by looking at it. And the scent is just like the original PND scent, which is the coconut cool water scent, a really nice, refreshing, masculine, coconutty cologne kind of scent, sort of sweet but sharp, and I just really enjoy the scent overall. It's not too strong, but it's not too weak either. It's just subtle enough that you can detect it, especially if you move your head this way and that throughout the day. And let's just, I need to dampen my hair a little more right now. And scooping out the product, it's really easy to do. It just comes out like nothing. And as you break it down, it feels a little greasier. It feels pretty much like a typical petro-based pomade. You can start to feel more of the greasiness as you melt it down in your hands. It gets a little tackier as well, and a little sticky, but not too sticky. You can detect the scent even more as you rub it in, which is always really nice. And also applying it, really no effort at all. It just goes in really nice and easy. Not too much resistance at all. Doesn't feel too waxy, but it just feels a little greasy applying it in. Now, if you scoop it out from the already scooped out layer, it feels a little greasier. It feels more like there's petro in it. But if you scoop it out just from the top layer, well, not too much effort. You still feel a little more of the wax, but it still feels really nice and somewhat greasy to scoop out. What I do like about this product is that it feels a little greasy in your hands, but after you apply it to your hair, it doesn't feel so much of like a gross, greasy kind of pomade that you would find in a lot of classic pomades. And you can begin to see the shine over here. Now, when it comes to a light hold pomade, the main stereotype over here is that a lot of people tend to think of really greasy and super wet looking pomades, but with this one, that's not really the case. I mean, it does feel a little greasy once you melt it down, but once it's in your hair, first of all, it actually has hold. A lot of people get turned off by light pomades because sometimes it doesn't provide them with enough with adequate control and hold. But this one actually, of course, it does have hold for a light pomade. I would say it's somewhere between a light to medium hold, with just a happy light to medium, like a happy in between. And the shine of this one also doesn't go too overboard. It's a really nice shine. That's sort of, I would say it's somewhere around the medium shine. And you don't get that super wet looking high shine with it. That's the main stereotype of light hold pomades, because you would tend to have a very greasy and wet look. But this one gives sort of a nice glassy kind of shine. I mean, it doesn't look too wet, but it's sort of like a nice, a really nice shimmer. and just the name applies. It is really slick stuff. Now I've worn my part. And if you select the sides back, well, I do need a haircut. It's been like almost 2 months since I got my last one. And if you actually do look at the sides, they do need a bit of maintaining, but I really have no problem selecting the sides back. Like I said, this product is absolutely amazing slickness, and that's what I always really love in a pomade. It also has, you can tell there's a bit of falling to this light hold pomade. That's what I really like, because sometimes pomades with either too much waxiness, like you would find in a lot of heavies and some mediums, they would tend to weigh your hair down, while some pomades with too much grease would also mat it down, like you would find in a lot of the older, more classic light hold pomades. But this one just has the perfect ratio so that your hair does not get weighed down at all. It has sort of a nice lightweight feel to it. You don't really feel so much on your hair. But at the same time, you can also have a really decent height with it for a light hold pomade. It gets sort of like a medium height. And you can tell there's awesome control even for a light pomade. And for a lot of people, light hold pomades tend to lack control. But this one just provides you with a really nice amount of control despite feeling rather lightweight in the hair. And I don't really have so much issues with the greasiness of this pomade, because, you know, with a lot of light hold pomades that are super greasy, you would sometimes feel the grease just melting down and running down towards your neck. But this one feels like one of the cleanest light hold pomades I've ever used. So you wouldn't really deal with that problem, at least for me. You can tell I have a really beautiful shade to my pomp right now. Just make some final adjustments and I'll show what the final style looks like in my hair. Now, I'll just go ahead and call this done. You can tell everything is really nicely slicked together, and also the height is really good for something that is considered a light hold pomade. This is usually a height that I would pretty much get with a medium hold. And the shine is really nice, but not excessive. Now, washing it out, it would take me about 3 washes with just one application, but the buildup is actually less greasy than I expected. It's sort of a really nice feeling of buildup. It's kind of like the original Pomps Not Dead, where you actually have a slightly waxy, but this one is a less waxy buildup compared to the original Pomps Not Dead pomade. It has a really clean buildup that's super, super slick, and as you build up even more, your sides can get really tight, and everything would just flow really nicely once you style it the next few days to come. And I just really like the buildup of this one. It's a little greasier than the typical Pomps Not Dead, but it's still not as greasy compared to most other light holds. It has a relatively clean buildup, even though it feels a little greasy, but it has sort of a nice a little lightweight feel of a buildup. It doesn't really weigh your hair down too much, even on buildup, but it adds so much slickness. It's amazing. And overall, this is actually one of the greatest light hold pomades I've ever used, and I use a lot of light pomades. I love a lot of light to medium pomades, but this one is just something on its own. For an oil-based pomade, it's pretty hard to be, it's hard to break out of the mold. You have a lot of oil-based pomades which act really orthodox and very predictable, but this is just pretty much what you would not really expect in a light hold pomade. It actually has a bit of hold. It's not too greasy. It has a nice shine without being too much and just throwing that fact into people's faces. And this is just something special. It's been around for a while, but this is pretty much the newer formula from last year. I actually got this pomade last year and I've used it for a bit, but I have a lot of pomades in my rotation, so I don't really get to use this one a lot. But if I can actually limit my pomade collection down to just a few, this is actually one of my selected ones. This is absolutely one of my most favorite pomades of all time. And I really, really recommend it if you just love oil-based pomades. If you're looking for a decent light hold that actually does have hold, then this is something you should actually really consider. And when we talk about its level of hold on a typical standard, like we can describe light hold, Lockhart's Light, which is like a greasy light. It's kind of like Royal Crown to be the pomade, not the hairdressing. It's kind of like Royal Crown pomade, but it has the true light hold. It actually has hold, but sort of a true light. I would say the hold in this one is sort of like a notch or maybe two above the Lockhart's Light, but it's still somewhere below O'Dowd's Light. But nonetheless, it has really, really amazing slickness and pretty good hold for a light. And I just can't stop raving on about this. It's just such an amazing product. So I think I said enough, and that is slick of it all, my Pomps not dead. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe to this channel, and click on the bell icon to never miss a single upload of Squinty Show, and I'll see you next time on The Squinty Show.